The following video has been approved by the Jetty marketing team. The video has been rated Jetty. The following video may not be suitable for all viewers. G'day, mate. Welcome back to Dyson Sphere with me, Jetty. So, what have we been doing? Well, we've done a few things. I went and did a little bit of outposting. If we zoom out far enough, we might notice that there's a significant amount of traffic between our, 1, 2, 3 new stars. Along with, if we zoom back in, there is some serious traffic coming to Australialis number 4, and I did have somebody comment. Hang on. That I was calling it the wrong name. So what we're going to do is we're just going to rename the star because it's been Australialis the whole time I've been here. Yes, okay. So with that now renamed, what I've done is I've gone out to, hang on, let's try and pick the right button. Come out to Kappa, grabbed the fire ice, plus tapped all the other resources. Sabek grabbed all the resources of fire ice and organic crystals, along with hydrogen and deuterium from a gas giant. Came out to Shellac, and again, hydrogen, deuterium, organic crystals. Also some spiniform, which I think we already had. No, we didn't. So we now have a new raw resource. On top of that, our Dyson Sphere is partially complete. Let's just go for a quick jaunt around the planet. Because even though, like, it's a Dyson ring, not a Dyson Sphere. It's definitely a Dyson ring. I still like it. Now, we do have more improvements to do, but the first thing I actually want to do is I want to unlock the Drac inversion mechanism. Yes, because that'll let us make critical matter, and then we're going to go back to the Dyson stress system, because if we go into here and I go to there, you can see I have unlocked a number of levels, but we can't quite get the 2 caps. So obviously we still need to do some more research, and as far as the base is going, it's actually doing fine. I fixed the power problem. Not by doing anything insane, like actually fixing the problem, but just took some local hydrogen or some not so local hydrogen and burnt it off into a bunch of thermal power stations. And also, because there's nothing stopping you, took fire ice, because our local gas giant, where are we? Our local ice giant, rather, produces way more fire ice than it does hydrogen. But we can burn fire ice because it has a fuel value and energy value that we can burn off. So I just took fire ice, like the spare fire ice, and just running it into these guys and burning it off. Now, there is a little bit of a priority system set up, so these guys only leave if they can be fully full of whatever resource they're trying to pick up, so being either hydrogen or fire ice. Meanwhile, our main fire ice tower that brings resources in, which is whichever one I don't click on, is set to 90%. So they'll actually leave when there is potentially 900 fire ice on the actual on the gas giant. They'll actually leave and go pick up the fire ice at that point. We might need a few more warpers. Yeah. So yeah, they'll actually leave earlier. Same with, I have a tower that brings in hydrogen. Not that one. That's local hydrogen. There we go. There's the light mod. All right. Local tower. Haha. Local tower that brings in hydrogen. Again, it's set to 90%. So because it's set to 90%, it will potentially leave and go get more hydrogen at 900 rather than having to wait for 1,000. So it'll always leave first, which means I shouldn't have any problems with hydrogen. Finally, deuterium. Now we've got a couple of gas giants that have deuterium. We are just going to find out where it is. Nope. This one. the one that was collecting hydrogen is now bringing in deuterium. As you can see, the hydrogen it's still the local drop-off. So when hydrogen comes out of oil, let's just land and do it from map view. So when hydrogen comes out of oil, it comes up here, and first place it goes is into deuterium, okay? Because deuterium is obviously very, very important and a harder resource to go get than deuterium. So we want to make sure hydrogen goes into the fractionators first, and then comes over here and fills up our tanks. We're not producing nearly enough for the amount that we're actually mining. And then back to this particular tower. So on top of that, we can actually go get deuterium from the gas giants. So we are using that, and we're just pumping it into these storage tanks to supplement our deuterium. I still don't think we have enough. I still think we're consuming it faster than we're making it. That one. Yeah, well and truly consuming it faster than what we're making it. So that's a problem we're going to have to fix in the future. But yeah, because this is local supply and remote storage, and again, our hydrogen tower has the local drones coming here first to pick up small little bits of hydrogen, and then using the bigger ships to go get the further away hydrogen. Everything should be fine. Should be. On top of that, yeah, we want to do something about our Dyson Sphere. So the first thing I want to do, now I've explained what's happened, is... yeah, we're definitely running out of resources. 131. Yeah, okay, first thing I want to do is I want to go plan out some more Dyson Sphere, probably just layers outright. So we're going to put in a cut right now. I'm going to turn off running game, and we're going to add some more layers. And welcome back. So, I made some rings, not spheres. Now, let me explain this really, really quickly, because I know somebody is already banging away in the comments section asking, why, Jetty? Why? Dyson Sphere is an early access game, okay? It is an early access game, and look, relatively game-wise, it's been bug-free, okay? It's been bug-free, it's been really, really good, it's been a lot of fun, but it is early access, so it does have a few problems. One of the problems it actually has is the save file size. Now, I've played all the way through the late game more than once, okay? I've built a giant sphere, like biggest size possible around a big star. The catch is every single sail that you put into that sphere, as in if we go pick one of these layers and we build a shell and I fill in an area, then that uses a lot of save space, you know, a lot, like several hundred megabytes depending on what size sphere you have. So, and as far as I understand, now it's my understanding, it may not be correct, I'm not a programmer, I haven't gone digging into the code, but it's from what I've understood from members of the community who understand more than I do, and modders who have actually made mods that decrease the save file size. Every single sail that you launch in a space has a expiration time, so to speak, which is fine until they join a sphere, at which point they don't need that expiration time saved. But it's saved anyway, and if we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of sails, that's a lot of extra data, which technically gets, as far as I understand and as far as my testing has shown, if you delete that sail, then if you delete that shell from the sphere, all those sails go back into orbit and have their timer reset to whatever your research is up to. So I don't know why that data is being saved. Maybe it's an oversight on the dev's behalf, but I do know it makes massive save files. Now, massive save files are not really an issue, except there's an autosave function, which I don't think there's an option to turn it off. I know I've set mine for like the maximum time possible. I haven't tried sliding it to the other end to see if there's an off version. But yeah, that's my issue. That well, my issue is massive save files, which are going to take a long time when they do an autosave function, which means I stop playing and I basically have to stop talking mid-sentence and hopefully cut them out in post, which means sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't, and sometimes, potentially, as the series continues, there might be 30 seconds of blank where you're staring at an autosave screen, and I'm not even talking because I miss cutting it out in post, which has happened in the past with previous series I've done for, like, Factorio, when I've built really, really, really large mega bases that took... One of them actually took 20 minutes to save. That was so long that it was fine. I never missed that autosave because it took forever. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I've decided. So rather than doing a sphere, which we might change later, I might change up to a sphere later, we're going to do lots and lots of rings. Now, it means I'm going to have a lot less power output from my Dyson Sphere portal, whatever you want to call it. But it's something I'm happy with. Oh, and as for that mod, if I install that mod to reduce my save file size, the problem is my series permanently from my save file permanently from that point, at least last time I read it on the mod portal, needs that mod enabled to load, which is an issue because currently my save is 100% vanilla. Like I had a crash, I had a bug several episodes ago, and all I had to do, I actually had a crash in between this episode and last episode where I was just outposting, and it turns out it was a crash with stock Dyson Sphere. I don't know what the error was, but it's been reported. Hopefully the devs work it out and fix it. But yeah, I can always do a validation check. I can always like save my game, reload it back up without the mods, and everything works. The only thing actually I think I lose currently is I lose my custom naming on my planets, which could be frustrating as the game continues, but for right now it's perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch a whole bunch of spheres, and I've intentionally done lots and lots and lots of them because it should look really, really cool. If we turn on run game, you can see they all move around separately, and somewhere actually right here is where our rockets are. And yeah, if I just land in the water, we should boom. And if we zoom out, we can see we're going to start mass attacking that sun again. And it's going to make a whole new set of rings. Now, because the way Dyson Sphere works, the first lot of rockets are probably going to go to 1 or 2 nodes, but then from there on it will slowly, as nodes complete, be more and more random. Yeah, we can see we're definitely going 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. How complete they are in one rocket launch, I have no idea. Not very complete, otherwise they'd be joining up. But yeah, I have... Where are we? Turn that off for just a second, because that could be... Can I... this is going to be so hard to demonstrate. Okay, so layer number 1 requires 90 rockets. Layer number 2 is going to require 110. Layer number 3, which will be this one over here. Yep. Will be 130, layer number 4 will be 150, layer number 5 will be 170. I've basically made the layers as close to one another as possible. Hang on, what? 170, 210 it turns out. And then 230, 230 again. Oh, there you go. They're two definitely different sizes. We can see that they're two different sizes. 230, 230, 230. Yeah. Might have found a cheat that if you make it at, what would that be? I think that's 10,000. 10,000. It's as cheap as one at 9,000. And then 250. So yeah, we're going to require a lot of rocket launches. In fact, if we click on you, we're going to need just a cool 20,000. 20,000 rocket launches, we should be fine. Now, one other thing I want to get done this episode, at least I hope to, because that was the big one. I want to get a sphere started. We're doing the research right now. I want to get the DRAC inversion mechanism so we can start getting critical photons. And the other thing I want to do is I want to cut that belt for just a second, which is making our rockets, which is unfortunate, but I need those resources for something else right at the moment because our titanium alloy sucks. Actually, we might drop that down. Yeah, I need to do something about titanium alloy. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to go through the process of trying to get some hang on, I'll find them. Some of these up and running. Because we want to start, actually, there we go. Track inversion mechanism complete. Alright, so I want to start getting controlled antimatter research done. And I want to be able to set up these guys. At the moment they're doing power generation, okay? And we are, actually, we might instead do that research, and 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 that research. And then we'll come... Did that all disappear? Why did that all disappear? Okay. And then do controlled annihilation reaction. Okay, so currently these guys are doing power generation. I want to swap them over to photon generation. Because these are critical photons, which we're going to need to do things with. It does mean a couple of things. One, as you can see, this is currently requesting 116 megawatts worth of power to convert it into 41 megawatts to convert it down to 14 megawatts. So this is the total amount we're pulling out. We're attempting to pull a request from the Dyson Sphere. This is the size of our Dyson Sphere. This is the total that we're requesting out of the Dyson Sphere everywhere, like over the whole system. And then because of efficiency fallbacks, we're only getting 15.4. And actually, we might just put a belt on there for just a moment, because you're going to output one in a second. But what I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to set these guys up so we can actually receive rays. Two, want to actually swap them over to start making critical photons. And three, I want to get this research done, because this ray receiving efficiency, yeah, that one, should get a bump when that research finishes, which it just did, which means I'm actually requesting less power. This number dropped, all the numbers drop. I basically don't stress out my Dyson Sphere nearly as much. Because I don't have any sales, I'm going to be very, very limited on power. So for the moment, we're going to leave these on power generation, because our power went to the toilet as soon as we started launching 24 rocket silos, each using 18 megawatts each. Yeah, our power system is not designed to handle that just at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange some area, so I have some room on the North Pole to put in my ray receivers. And I'm going to take that belt and loop it around to there instead, which will get rid of our deuterium out of the way, because I'd like to reserve this little part of the North Pole for ray receivers. Oil is going in here. Okay, so we're going to take this oil belt past all our ray receivers into, come on, line things up, Jetty, into that belt. Then I'm going to take this belt up a tile into here and then into there. Alright, with that done, let's get this little bit done first. Thank you. That'll stop that supply, and then that little bit done second, which will stop that supply, which means after the belt runs dry... That does not look connected. It is connected, but it does not look connected. Okay, we can cut. Nope. Wrong tile. One tile too many. Alright. It means I can remove that. I can remove that. I can grab landfill. This one we are going to actually concrete in properly. And we're going to cover the North Pole with our ray receivers. There we go. There's another efficiency upgrade, which is not going to get us more power, but it's going to give us the ability to potentially put down more ray receivers. As long as this number is above that number, it doesn't matter how many we throw down, we won't actually get out any more power. Well, technically we will. Sort of. Yeah. Alright, so we want a bunch of these. Now, I need to plug these in very, very carefully, because I need to potentially get a belt through all of them for output. Okay, there. I'm going to watch our power so they go in the toilet again. Are they all in the right tile? Yes, they all look to be in the right tile. Okay, then we want one on that meridian. That on... Nope, lack of item. Okay, you, and you. One on that meridian, one on that meridian, and one on that meridian. And then we want one on this one first. No, you need to go out of tile. Yes. So it's not on this arc going through here, not on that line. Hang on, let's do it this way. It's not on this line, it's out one tile further. I didn't really want the belt there, but thanks. So we're gonna go, oh, lack item. I want like, let's just keep the numbers small because I don't want to have excess in my inventory. Where is the, that's the tower I want. Let's go with 11. Sure. Alright, so they're out one tile, they're out one tile, they're out one tile, they're out one tile, go away powerful, they're out one, they're out one, they're out one, lack of item, cool. Back to guess the right tower, that one, which is reached between buildings. 6? I'm not sure. There, out one. There we go. Another upgrade done. That doesn't look right. It is in theory. And one last ray receiver. Okay, so if we click on these, we can see that we are trying to pull down 391 megawatts of our poor, measly 184 megawatts. In saying that, where's our sun? Our sun has already got bits and pieces all around it and over it, and it's getting there fairly quickly. We have a lot of rockets to launch, and we're going to keep launching them. But I need to now run a belt. No, I need to pick that tower this time, pull out one of them, along with a stack of them. I'd like 100, please. Okay. We'll delete that because it doesn't have to be in your inventory. Alright, I want to put in a transport hub right here, just the little one. Actually, you can even come closer. Yeah, you can slide right up against. Alright, you didn't manage to get power. No, you're like one tile short. Alright, we're going to put a power pole there. We will throw the robots in there. We will set you to be critical photons. We'll give you one photon so you feel happy. And then we need a belt. So our belt is going to start here. And go around and around the merry-go-round. Like so. All the way around. The only thing that we need to do is we need to go and get probably some more belts. Not for this project, but probably for the next project. And I also need a splitter. So let's grab like 20 splitters and half the belt. And let's have just all the sorters. Let's be honest, let's just take all the sorters at once. Alright, we want to put in a little cut here. Because I need to take... Of course you're in the wrong way. I need you to face that way. I need to take out of the center tower. Okay, you will come down to this tile. I need to put a splitter in there. Come on, come on. We gotta get this splitter lined up. Belt. Splitter. No. Okay. Splitter there. Do you feel more happy about being over there? Yes, you do. Okay. So we're going to have that belt loop all the way through. It's got a bit of a zigzag in it. It's fine, okay? If you don't look at it too hard, it's perfectly fine. All right. So that's another set of ray efficiencies. Okay. So Dyson Sphere status is going up. Our power draw down is doing okay. We are still upside down on power, definitely. Alright, and then I want to bring that output into that tower. Now, the idea of this is it now means I can line up all these belts. So every one of these can output their critical photons, because we're going to be setting them up for critical photons. I'd like to say this episode, I don't know whether we'll get it done this episode. This episode, we expanded the Dyson Sphere, okay? We did some big things. We did some big things. I also did a lot of outposting between episodes. If you look at the save time between the end of last episode and the start of this one, it's about 6 hours. There was a significant amount of outposting done, so I'm sort of... I started short on time to start with. Okay, so that's all the belts hooked up. Alright, if we had critical photons, we could just process them. How much power are you actually producing? There is 25 of you, 3 megawatts each, so we're only talking about 75 megawatts worth of power. Total, out of this whole system. So like nothing. So like nothing. Hang on. What am I looking for? 75 megawatts worth of power. I want to look at that. So like, yeah, really, really nothing. Maybe 80 megawatts worth of power. It really, really is nothing. Okay, you know what? We're just going to swap you over to do photon generation. Alright, so we can see the Dyson Sphere status is going to go through the roof now, because in photon generation, they request a lot more power, like a lot more power from the Dyson Sphere. And this is one of the best ways to mass get power and then be able to move it to different planets. Obviously not by moving photons, but by processing photons in an antimatter, which is the research we just unlocked earlier in the episode. Photon. Alright, just double check. That I haven't missed any. Okay. Alright, so that's going to make photons. And the reason I put the splitter in there is, well, a certain amount of them are going to go. Basically, every single time... Hang on, give me photon. Can I have photon, please? Okay. Photon. So, there's a 50-50 chance when a photons which get dumped on this belt go around that they're going to get popped out. So that's been around once, and then it'll get popped out. It means basically every photon's going to go for a whole loop all the way around the circle, which I'm perfectly fine with. I like the idea, honestly. Yeah, you're going to take a little while to output. But it means we're going to have a constant ring of photons popping around, and they're just shiny. They're shiny. I like them. There's no other reason than that. Everything needs a tour of the base every now and then. Okay, so with that out of the way, next thing I want to try and get done is remembering to bring some of these with me. 9. Alright, we need to first start cracking open our critical photons in the antimatter. On top of that, do we not have the research yet? No, we don't have this research. Alright, how's that research going? Those labs are flat out. Okay. Oh, what we're going to do is we're going to put a stopgap on our purple science, because our purple science is not actually running at full speed because it's all out of processors. So what I want to do is we make lots of processors. I have hundreds of them in the network. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a patch by bringing them in from our closest. You're in the wrong spot, dude. Go away. That belt goes to ground level to there, then up. Then you should pass over the top. Yes, and then promptly run into the... the very next one, because it's also in the wrong spot. You die there. Okay. These are all made to be made exactly identical, so I can do stuff like this and run a belt very sneakily along the top and then in there instead. Okay. Alright, so that should buffer up Purple Science, keep Purple Science running nice and happy. Assuming nothing else breaks, but we're just going to assume it doesn't. What do I have in my inventory that I don't want? I'm failing at flying. Okay. Alright, we want to start cracking our critical photons. Not that we're going to have many, but I want to start the process at least. So, what I want to do is find a little bit of blank area to build, and right here looks good, apart from our lack of light and our oil arch that's in our way. You're not going to get extended, and you are not going to get extended. So you know what? We're going to pull up our belt here. I want you to be at maximum height when you get over the top of that, please. Down one, downward all. Down. Down. We'll call that a win. We shall remove the erroneous belt. We shall bring you down to ground level and hook you in there. And if I break that belt, the other end should be broken. Ooh. Be careful what you try and deconstruct and hold down shift at the same time. Bad things can happen. Okay. Oil arch has been preserved. Get the oil line hooked back up. Okay. Because, you know, I hate to lose our oil arch and then unfortunately remove power poles. I know I could do something about power. I know I could make like a put down a whole bunch of solar panels or something and hopefully fix it that way. At the moment, we're going to ignore the power problem because, believe it or not, we're actually heading towards the fix. Alright, we're going to put a tower right there. And you, sir, are going to bring in critical photons. And you're also going to export hydrogen and antimatter. Those two I'm going to turn off for right a second, because I want to do a couple bits of construction first. So we're going to bring this belt along to here. We'll have a return belt, a second return belt, nice and simply like that. I will remove you and you. We are going to probably break everything when we put these guys in, because they use just a little bit of power each, like 12 megawatts or something. I want you to do that one. And power-wise, just for clarification, production. 12 megawatts, yep. Oh, there we go, it's another one done. Alright, so critical photon in, antimatter out, hydrogen out, 12, 24, 100, 200. 200 megawatts worth of power. Oh, if they have power poles. If they were running as well. They're not running. They're only using idle power, which is only 120 kilowatts. So not too bad. Alright. What we want to do next is I want to and ah and say, is there any buffers we can eat? Because if I turned off some production lines, we'd have more power. Well, you're broken. Yeah, I need to do something about glass. You are definitely out of... We'll set that to 0 as well. Yeah, because I need those for a future project. We do have 3,000 of those, so that's something. We have 9,000 rockets, so that's something. We have none. 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 Exactly 0. 0 quantum chips. Okay, that's an issue, because they're used for many things. One of them being... And there's a whole bunch of them over here for processors. That's something. Okay, so we still have them for processors, but not for anything else. Because you're absorbing 2,000 of them. Less, way less. Alright, alright. What we want to do is... I think we're going to jump ahead and... Can I do that? What's that? Yeah, I need these researchers to finish. Alright, what we're going to do is we are going to... Well, we're going to prove that this works by literally just setting this to... Oh, have some bots. I don't have any other bots. Okay, demand. Wow, some are being flown over at least. I want to turn these off for the moment because I want to go through a couple of steps all in one hit from one tower. And I don't want my hydrogen to fly off because my hydrogen will definitely fly off. It's designed to fly off. But I'd prefer it if it didn't. And actually, I just realized I have 2 more of these things in my inventory. So, 1, 2. And of course, all the critical matter flows directly past where I was putting things down. Yeah. Story of my life. Okay, power pole there, power pole there. You can have all of those. And yes, that's going to output both antimatter, which, funnily enough, that research, that one gives us a annihilation constraint sphere. Yes, yes. Which sounds like something you'd put antimatter in. In fact, it's definitely something you're going to put antimatter on in, you know, to protect everything from going boom when it touches antimatter. But no, it turns out antimatter is like any other piece of jelly and just sits on a belt without a problem. Alright, we're going to do a jump forward in time because I need to get this research, possibly this research, and the one we're currently working on done. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. And with that, we actually have our last research done. So what have I done? I have gone and set up our constraint spheres, which was a technologies. This one, and I'm in the process of setting up antimatter fuel rods. Now, the constraint spheres are just slow. They take 20 seconds. They require a particle container and a processor. We have both those in the network already. So I've literally just set this up and dump down a couple of assemblers right beside where we're already cracking our photons into antimatter. On top of that, we're about to set up, and production, I will throw one right here. We're about to set up antimatter fuel rods. Now, antimatter fuel rods require antimatter, and they require hydrogen, and they require the constraint sphere, and they require the titanium alloy. So I'm just plugging in these belts right now, and we'll make the build that long and titanium alloy, which we'll bring to there, to there, to there. You see how quickly this is going together? Yeah, all right, we'll take that belt. No, that's going to get very narrow. We'll make it that long and hope for the best. Okay. Yeah, because we're going towards a pole, so the belts are getting closer and closer to one another. Alright, we want to take the constraint spheres. Yep, English. There to there to there to there, because we have a few more things I want to tack onto this production line. So this should be as easy as sorta in, sorta in. Not around the side, please. Sorta in, sorta in, sorta in. Output belt would be really handy right about now. And output belt. Okay, and then we're gonna copy and paste that about that many times. And then throw some power poles at the problem. Now, power has not magically got better. I think, in fact, it's probably magically got worse, but that's fine. It's fine. We're on our way to fixing power right now. This is part of our root cause of fixing power. We need to set that to I don't want you to supply at all. Do I? No, I do want you to do local supply. Alright, we're going to cap that, max that one out, max that one out. Now, the reason I've left the hydrogen and everything in idle is when we convert our critical protons into antimatter, okay? We take in 2 protons, we get 2 antimatter, and we get 2 hydrogen. When we recombine them into an antimatter fuel rod, I need 10 antimatter and I need 10 hydrogen, plus I need one of those constraint spheres, plus I need 1 bit of titanium alloy. The way the base is set up currently is hydrogen, if hydrogen's ever found in one of these ports, it's going to get stolen. But because this is a 1-to-1 ratio, I definitely want to make sure it doesn't get stolen. I want to make sure it's accessible. So, yeah, I don't want different things nicking off with it. Now, we have done all this process to get to our antimatter fuel rods. And our antimatter fuel rods are important for a couple of reasons. Actually, we'll cover those in just a second. There's one more production chain that I want to finish, which is input. I want a transportation hub. You there will do. We'll line that belt up. We'll bring you out as item number 2. You out as item number 3. And you in as item number 4. Okay, and we're going to need some sorters. No, I've already done that side, so it's just this side. Can I remember what they are off the top of my head? No, I can remember what one of them are. Okay, so the reason I've set up things the way I have is actually, well, let's go through our fuel. So we have, up until now, we've been using deuterium fuel rods. Okay, deuterium fuel rods, they're really, really handy. They have 600 megajoules worth of power. As you can see, my total battery is 3.18 gigajoules. So I need like 6 of these, 6 and a bit of these. No, 5 and a bit, to completely refill my bar full of power. Which also means when we're warping, when we're chewing through a lot of power very, very quickly, these are very good because they have that 300% fuel gen bonus, which means this number is 3 times what it should be. If we go over to here and we look at this, mecha fuel power is 2.4 megawatts. If we look at this, it's obviously 3 times that amount because, you know, it has a 300% bonus, and we're currently burning deuterium fuel rods. But if we look at the antimatter is a little bit different. It's 7.5 gigajoules worth of power. Which, don't forget, is technically free power because it came from our Dyson Sphere as a critical proton, and then from a critical proton was split in half into both hydrogen and antimatter, and then recombined the hydrogen and the antimatter with some annihilation constraint spheres, which is a particle container and a CPU, like a smart particle container, basically, because it's got to hold antimatter, and some titanium alloy to get us some very, very, very efficient fuel. Also, at 7.5 gigajoules each one, that means that is my whole bar twice for one of these. It also means that the research we just unlocked is the artificial star, which are quantum processors. Okay, number 3 would be quantum chips. Thank you. Demand. Okay, that really didn't work. And those ones. Demand. Quantum processors, which are hooked into science, which has been running forever. They're also hooked into you, which should be turned off currently. No, you are definitely not turned off currently. Alright, quantum processors, quantum processors, quantum processors. Hey, I'll have half, please. They're used for a bunch of different things. We're going to have to definitely make sure that our quantum processor build is running. That's better. Running a little bit better than what it is currently. Okay, what I want to do is I want to dump those intentionally in there. Set you to be antimatter fuel rods and... Oh. No, you were quantum CPUs. you are those things. Tone that down, demand help if you had some ships. And what I want is I want you to spit out a star, please, because this is the bit that I really want. I really need some artificial stars, because artificial stars just they solve some problems. They solve some big problems. All right, we want to bring out our antimatter fuel rods on slot number 1, please. We're going to grab, helps if I actually set that, and also the other thing I'm going to want is I'm going to want warpers, because this is actually going to provide provide both these items. Local demand, storage, big ships. Grab some big ships before I forget, because I'd hate to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere and need some antimatter fuel to get home and find out that I never actually put it in the network. Set you to 100, please. And we're going to have unlimited. Unlimited! Alright, we have 2 stars. Now, the stars are the star of the show. We want to put 1 there and 1 there. Now, they don't look impressive, okay? They don't need to look impressive, because currently they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. But what we have here is a artificial star. All you have to do is let the positive and negative proton beams quietly cross the magnetic field from both ends into the constraint sphere. Nice and easy. This scaled down version of the system is known as the mini sun. So, the artificial stars, the mini suns, require just a sorter and a little bit of antimatter, and boom. More importantly, and this is the big kicker, these guys provide 75 megawatts worth of power each. Okay? So, oh look, I have 2 more. One in there. Can I get 1 more right here on the end? No! Okay. What we'll try and do is we'll try and... Oh, actually, we won't do anything. Power's in the green. Power's in the green. We're done. We're sold. We're sold. Game over. We're done. Power's all fixed. And best of all, it's technically coming from the Dyson Sphere. Right? Like, it's coming from our critical protons, which are coming from... If we just fly over real quick. You crash. It's technically coming from our Dyson Sphere, and like we've overmaxed our Dyson Sphere. Our Dyson Sphere is flat out. Like we're pulling down 2 gigawatts out of a Dyson Sphere that's doing barely 600 megawatts. Technically, when this research is done, we'll be a little bit better off, but not a whole lot. So yeah, we're pulling down a lot of, well, trying to pull down a lot of power. We're not producing nearly as much power as I'd like, and then we're converting that process, rather having thousands of ray receivers all, you know, doing like 12 megawatts worth of power each. We're converting that, okay, so at the moment we've only got 1 of them running, which is unfortunate. Can I give that to you instead? Alright, so I've only got 1 of these guys running, but 1 is better than nothing. So it also means that you don't need that many of these guys to actually convert the power across. Who's then going to spit out... Oh, they just went a few of them and turned on a few of these guys, actually. Oh yeah, you've got 1, and you've got 1, and... Oh yeah. Oh, and look, there's spares at the end of the belt. Yeah, you have some. Alright, so we're basically cracking our photons apart and then producing antimatter fuel, which we're then converting into and throwing into our stars. That has 10, that has 10, that has 9. So far I'd say we're keeping up. In fact, there's going to be spares in all of these machines. And if because I obviously do not have the production to keep this running, we're probably going to have the production to keep 1 machine running. Although they do take 12 seconds to craft, so they're not exactly quick to craft either. You're doing a very good job of eating everything. Thanks. Yeah, so we are producing obviously, producing a fair bit of antimatter. You have 10, you have 10, you have 10. Power is back in the green. In fact, we're even recharging our accumulator. So, with all that said, this is going to bring us to the end of this episode. Next episode, obviously, we're going to have to go work out some white science. At the same time, I'm going to let the sphere complete a little bit more. Where is that actually? Let's turn off our nightlight. Where is the sun? Yeah, right there. Can we just crash on the planet, please, Icarus? There we go. So, whoa. Trying to find the right angle so you can actually see things is impossible sometimes. Alright. There we go. Okay. As you can see, with my weird rings, it is very, very pretty. It is very, very, very pretty. And they're all moving, and they're all moving at different angles. I really, really like it. And we are still several thousand rockets. Our rocket silos are over there. Yeah, there's just a whole fleet of rockets just launching non-stop. Okay. We are... What's that? We're a little bit over a quarter of the way there. Actually, let's go to that view. Yeah, we're a little bit over a quarter of the way there. And we have a lot of rockets still to go. So, I'm going to leave it here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. By all means, if you're new here, you've caught this episode one out of the blue, by all means, there is a playlist down in the description below if you want to go back and watch from the start. We are a couple of episodes in, but it's been a whole bunch of fun so far, and we're going to continue going from here. We have our little colony so far, and from here, we're going to be going, well, bigger. I want to get the white science up and running. I want to aim for about 10 to 15 science per second to start with. And then after we've got that up and running, the plan is probably a new planet or a new star. New whole base, new everything. Use what we've got so far to build something a little bit more robust, a little bit more scalable, and definitely have a better forged world than what we have currently. Because although this one's serving us very, very well, and there's many ships going back and forth, bringing all our materials, I'd like to do better. I'd like to do better, especially now that I have antimatter up and running, because power just became a whole pile easier. But anyway, with all that said, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next episode. And yeah, if you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button on the way out. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye.